So, delay is starting now. Hot mic. Okay. I think we've got it fixed. Kale, are you there? Can you speak to us from beyond the grave? He's alive! It's alive! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience with that delay. We're back. It's going to be under a new stream, so I think I'm going to have to distribute that. I might send it to somebody and then use that opportunity to have them distribute it for me.
I have it right now, and I'm putting it in chat.
You're a legend. Okay. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of catching up to do. Deep Blue is going to take down Texas on Quarantine. We are now playing Quarantine. I'm on a horse. 2 minutes and 58 seconds on the clock. We missed the first 3 minutes of the round. My apologies to anybody and everybody who was doing some crazy stuff here. And yes, we're zooming a little bit. I apologize. Chimichanga pushing the outside of AC just underneath Williams. Williams seems to have eyes looking at him. Who is that? That is Shrix. As we get ready for the next round, gunfire coming out from Mithra Marauder on the back of red scaffolding. He's going to contest crash site, VR specialist. VR is going to back down. Keep those bodies alive. Fully aware that bodies win rounds.
1 second.
It is currently 4 versus 5. Marsaw classified. Kale, what do you think of this?
I think I have sent out the links to all the cool kids in the Cool Kids Club that play the Cool Kids Onward game. And looking at the game itself, Williams still on top of AC, still getting away with it, getting a pick on Myth, with the push from Classified slowly coming apart. But as they get really close here, with just Fakey really last up on objective, Williams is going to have to be prepared, because if Fakey and Nikki go down, it's going to get interesting. Oh, Fakey does pick up Chimichanga with that push. May collapse with the alternate supporting lines. It's going to be a hard time for Mason as he makes his push.
For sure. As we take a look, Mason and Shrix both watching the line on Fakey. Fakey literally between a rock and a hard place. Fakey going down to Mason. Nick last up on uplink as the rest of the team is watching the crosses. Specialist and Blue. Nick's going to take down Mason, however. That was the final pusher for Classified. Classified, one up left. Let's take a look over there. Shrix goes down. As we see LeftRight, 4 bodies up, takes the first round on Quarantine. My goodness. All right, it was messy, but we got there.
From LeftRight. Yeah, solid defense there from LeftRight. I had a couple probers out into Impact. We had Williams on AC continuing to keep coverage. He stayed really low almost the entire time, ensuring that people couldn't get him, and ended up being a supporting, and basically every time he had a shot out there was definitely getting making them think about it each time. And as you had the team pushing from the north coming past Tank, you had 2 on objective, and just as they made the push, you had supporting lines that really shut everything down.
For sure, for sure. So we are going to see, going into round 2, whether or not Classified is going to be able to defend the objective with the same authority that LeftRight has on this first round of Quarantine. North objective for Quarantine is an interesting objective to start on. It is very, I would call it off-kilt, off-putting, I suppose. It tends to throw you off a little bit as far as not being like ordinary objectives. It is very in the open.
Absolutely. The basically, depending on your, like you said, like there are certain objectives that you can make your push coordinated together. You have cover the whole way. Where this objective in the north is you have cover, and then it is a run for the objective, which a lot of different crossing lines, a lot of different meta spots thing we use to cover and support almost any of the approach. And by the way, you're still not live. I'm not sure.
Yes, there is a 6-minute delay, so this is going to show up 6 minutes from now. And they're going to be like, what do you mean you're not live? You're live, and it's going to be fun.
Okay, good. I was just making sure it said waiting for Firesoul, and I was like, oh, I figured it would have it coming.
No, there's got to be a delay, unfortunately. It discards the end, not the beginning. Everyone getting a nice peek behind the curtain. Can we call it a curtain? I'm going to call it a rag. Peek behind the rag currently, as I don't know why everything decided to stop working today out of nowhere. As we see Chimichanga pushes up to AC. Williams and Specialist are going to contest. The rest of LeftRight pushing out that outer rim. Let's take a look at this defense.
And we do have a hospital spawn for LeftRight as they make their push. Like you said, with Williams up on top looking to counter the AC coverage, and there still might be an opportunity there from Chimichanga and Williams to have interaction here in just a second.
For sure, as early gunfire comes out from Mithril. Is that... No, Fakey from Scaffolding. Fakey's going to down Mason.
What a grenade. What a grenade.
That was a nade. That was a nade. One of the nades of all time. Fakey in position. Knows Mason's over by the mound.
Yeah,
strong position. Specialist and Fakey going to have to approach crash site angle. Mithril pushing out towards Mason to give him a hand.
Specialist did see Mason as he got picked up. He needs to make the rotation out. He is known, and Deep Blue is coming underneath, so Mithril needs to keep aligned and keep his awareness for his pushes as he's holding his inside lines from the nose of the plane. Gonna have Deep Blue coming up on 2 right now.
As Mason's going to take down Fakey, Deep Blue in that bottom side, pushing up on Mithril. Mithril does not know he's there. Mason's going to get the refrag onto VR Specialist. So now we have classified up 5-3. Deep Blue in a deep and strong position. However, high risk. Mason's going to swing out. He could get picked off by Blue. That's a double pick. They line up for Blue. He takes down 2 with 1 bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, we call that collateral damage. As Blue manages to clear out crash site. Going to give a huge foothold for LeftRight on this push. Classified losing 2 bodies immediately. And it's going to be rough as Chimichanga holding from AC, now watching the crash site line, could end up picking off Blue. If Blue isn't careful. Nikki finally crossing into crash site, comes out from the back line. Chimmy actually looks like he saw him for a second, so there is a chance he's going to give that call out. Blue in the open. Chimmy not peeking it, does not see him just yet as lines coming from that far back side. Not sure whose body that is. Who's that over on the east side? Flash comes out, catches Chimmy. Chimmy reflashes and grenades. Grenade catches nobody as Blue managed to throw that one from downtown. Blue in the open.
Jimmy's backing off, and we got Blue coming up on the scaffolding of impact. This is going to be interesting if Blue tries to make this push to White Car from scaffolding, and Chimichanga does not get him.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to come down to are the gods favoring LeftRight or classified? There's just no other way to put it. The Onward gods choose who the Onward gods choose.
And in the far east, it looks like, who is this? This is Williams is finally making his push around. So he's been in a slow rotation from AC, watching AC from hospital roof, and has finally made his approach all the way around. And Texas, if he stays tight on his line, is going to be not ready for Williams.
Speaking of not ready, Nicky has now made it up plane wing. He's going to end up on rooftop now as Blue has his supporting angle. Nicky's going to peek out and get a free kill on Chimichanga, who is not ready for that. That is pivotal for this round.
Texas camera 2.
Texas is going to go down, going to go take Williams down on that flank. Looks like Texas's patience paying off, catching the flanker. and putting some power back in the hands of Classified. Classified, I like that play. He grabbed the smoke and burnt it on purpose, not only to cover his cross, but so that couldn't be looted later on. He's got to rotate back to Link, though. You never want to be pushing the Link as a defender. If Marsoc is defending the objective, you've done something terribly wrong. Speaking of objective, let's get a look back over here. Blue in position off that cross. Nikki on that rooftop is going to be such a power position. The only problem is with only 2 players up, Nikki isn't going to be able to get much value out of it, so he is going to rotate out the backside. Shrix in a fantastic crash position to watch those final crosses. Had Texas gone down, however, that would have put Shrix in a very disadvantageous spot. Let's see how this approach happens. Do you think Nikki's going to go around the outside, or is he going to push scaffolding with Blue?
Nikki's coming around the outside now. Shrix does have the cover, and if Nikki is loud, he will get heard by Shrix here.
Speaking of, he does see him, and he does try to swing around, but he can't get the pick. Shrix just doesn't catch the audio. 13 seconds, 12 seconds. Long line from Texas. Texas watching the crash. He needs to start pre-firing. Flashes come out. Smokes come out. Blue's going to go down. 4 seconds on the clock. Nikki can't kill him fast enough. He's going to swing out and try to get the kill. Classified. Skin of their cheek.
Fantastic job from Texas there. Getting the capper. Nikki trying to stay in the high line. Tucks back in, doesn't come back out to try to get the kill. Lets them run out of time. Good play by there. Just initially being that far off, it was their cap to have. Maybe some more smokes, maybe a different coverage approach, but Texas was able to hold on to it, and Classified takes it, when bringing us to a 1-1.
Couldn't agree more. That's a good way of putting it. Had there been more time on the clock, that would have been theirs to take. Unfortunately, LeftRight just running out of time on that final push, just unable to get to the uplink without making some very, very risky plays, costing them the round. Shout outs to the final defender on Classified, having the wherewithal to pre-fire into the smoke. Not sure if he got the capper. That is a heart-wrenching place to be in when you're shooting into uplink smoke and praying that you manage to clear everybody off.
Absolutely. And, Blue didn't go for the coverage sitting behind the objective. If maybe he'd taken a little bit of a transition, could have come out completely different. But everything, the onward gods looked favorable upon Texas for that transition.
For sure. This is going to be a fun one. I'm seeing a lot of back and forth Volk trades. Both teams showing that they're very big fans of their Volk rounds. Defensively focused. As we get into the next round, it looks like it is far east spawn for Classified.
Hey, don't expose yourself to white car up here.
Yeah, northeast spawn for the gas station garage is just never... Every time you spawn in right there, you're like, man.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling. It is the worst feeling. There's no other way to put it. You're just like... Even in the tent, I don't know about you guys, and I'm going to admit it, planning for this objective stinks. You're always like, I'm going to plan for everything else, and if we get that one, we're screwed.
Yeah, absolutely. Which we have a full north push right now, so Noke did not attempt to make the cross, just making the north push, taking north ownership. LeftRight has hunkered down. We have got 2 in impact. They're going to really slow down the push. We'll see about how they take getting specialists in blue out of their holes here.
Just getting a lay of the land as we see Fakey has pushed into burning building. 2 bodies from LeftRight have been committed into crash site. And we're going to see a hospital hold and a gas station hold from LeftRight.
Fakey's going to have to be really conscious about this north push right here. That is you come up to white car, and that is direct line into where he's sitting, and he has no cover. So he's going to have to be really conscious about right here in this interaction where Myths and everyone's going to come up.
Let's take a look over there.
Mason right here.
Fakey's going to go down. Just as you said, Mason's going to get that pick. I didn't even get an opportunity to get over to Fakey before he got picked off.
Yeah, I was too slow on camera 2. Apologies for that.
You're fine. You're fine.
All right,
almost got it. We almost got it.
In blue. Myth in blue right now.
That is
Trade.
the trade comes out. Myth and Blue going down on the swing. VR Specialist still up in there. He's going to be on second floor, however. Mason in position. Rotates into crash site. VR knows he's there. Will he give comms? Mason direct underneath. He's now looting bodies as the flash drops down. Mason's going to be blind. He's going to pre-fire blind, but VR Specialist pushes in.
Good play by Specialist there. I would have stayed quiet, and the flash push paid off for him for that transition, and went ahead and picked another one up, bringing it to a 3-3 with Texas still trying to work to get him out, and Strix also coming in on the impact scaffolding as well. So 2 people to root out Specialist. We'll see what Specialist does with his alignment and movement.
For sure. Specialist putting in some serious work on this match so far. Manages to get his utility value. Specialist takes down Jimmy on the far side. Shrik's taking too long to swing. Doesn't want to make audio. He's going to wait for the guaranteed kill. As the C4 comes out, he's going to pick off Shrix as well. I didn't hear a footstep. Did you?
I did not hear a footstep. That was such a good play just now.
So smooth.
That was awesome.
That's the C4 play for sure.
So good. Getting the kill, getting the pick from AC, and then the C4 and confirm off scaffolding. Fantastic job. Just leaving Texas in here to try and get out Specialist with the rest of the team hunkered down, holding their lines, with Williams as your kind of last up position and Nikki in a strong defensive line as well.
I can't say so far this season I've seen a single player get so much value out of Crash Site before, taking on 3 entire bodies here on Crash Site. Just dominating this building. I've never seen one man spread out so thin, feel so thick, for lack of a better term. You know what? I don't like how I put that. Can I take that back, Internet?
It's too late now.
All right.
Texas picks up Specialist.
Texas finally picks up Specialist. Somebody roots him out. He was too thick. As LeftRight up 2-1 on classified.
For full screen on the next round. Instead of having the chat in the chat window in there. Just a request.
What's your request?
So the overlay that's got the chat window, having that.
Oh yes, that was I accidentally forgot to click one single button. It has fixed itself.
Perfect. All right, we are down to a minute left. Texas is making the push from wing courtyard. Sees Williams. Williams left his Overwatch spot and is now moving around in hospital. And Nikki's still staying nice and tight. Good play by Nikki there.
Look at the timer.
Hearing this downs.
That is going to be the deciding factor for this round, much like last. 40 seconds on the clock. Took too long to clear out Crash Site. Pushes to Williams. His position is burned. Williams knows he's there. Nick knows he's there. He's got 2 options. Go for picks or go for cap. And both of them are tough to do in 40 seconds. His best option would be to bait the cap and essentially trick the defense into thinking he's on uplink, so that he can go for those picks, but it's not going to happen. Nick, is he going to peek? That's shots fired. Nick doesn't peek. He is committed to watching that last line. Now he peeks because the Onward gods are choosing classified.
Texas has outside cap.
Texas can now cap.
Go for it.
4 seconds.
He's not committed.
3 seconds. He can no longer cap as he's going to get picked off.
Let him make it inside. No, he's not.
That's going to go the way of LeftRight, but freezing under that final push, costing classified the round. A lot of nerves going on right now. Semifinal match. Classified has to win quarantine. That could have been huge for them.
Would have
Unbelievable.
been huge. That would have been a momentum shift and would have been huge right there. I don't know if he was prepared for code. He did not make the transition or the effort to come there to the corner, as he was worried about Williams on the inside. And then as the shots came out from Nicky, he goes, "Oh, there's another one." So I don't think the plan there was. It was kind of a, "Oh, we got here. Let's get a pick instead of finish up the round."
For sure. It's one of those situations of I don't think he thought he'd get that far. Once he got into position and in position for the cap, there was just too much nerves. Let's be completely honest. Even for these pros, there's a lot of pressure going on, and then when you're right there on the uplink like that to get a capture with 6 seconds on the clock, I don't know if you're a fan of heights, but if you've ever been on like the top of a skyscraper or on top of a rooftop, even tying your shoe suddenly just becomes really difficult.
And the timepiece always seems to be a constant piece here. And again, for that round, VR Specialist, holding down Impact, they wasted almost 3.5 minutes getting him out of there. And when you hold a team up in one location for 3.5 minutes, you have done your job if you're one of the pushed out people. So great job by VR Specialist, getting 3 picks, almost the 4th, holding down Impact and really slowing that team down so they didn't have the time to do what they needed.
For sure. Couldn't agree more. That is the most succinct way to put it. It was just a lot of time burned, and there's just no way to get that back. Defensive rounds coming down to time seems to be the theme of quarantine. If ever there was one.
Getting the north spawn for the gas station garage here, and we're spreading out from our classified defense. Looks like we've got 2 in hospital. Myth making the late rotation back, getting picked from up in the north. Already down 1, less than 30 seconds in. That is rough. We'll see how Mason does holding back the Impact, see if he can take some of that VR Specialist insight and see how it goes.
For sure. In fact, we're going to hop over to Mason, take a look over here. Mason holding at the bottom of stairwell, waiting for a player to come to hip. Very different than VR Specialist, who was waiting for players to get within util range. Mason waiting specifically for underground, putting all his eggs in the basket of our players going to push underneath. Nicky and Blue already up on the rooftop. The problem is, from those positions, they can do a lot of damage on the rest of Classified. Speaking of damage, look at Chunga.
Far west. Yeah, look at far west right here. I don't know if you're on him.
Is Chunga on 2?
Chunga.
Thank you.
Yep, Chunga on 2.
He's going to hold that line.
Specialist here in a moment. Yep.
As nobody pushes to the bottom. Look at Williams, though. It looks like he is making that rotation. He could end up into Mason in a second. And, of course, whichever one I pick to watch will be the wrong one. As there is a lot of control of Crash Site for LeftRight compared to the last round. Chimichanga has backed off the angle. Specialist now in view. Chimmy, all he has to do is peek out. There he goes. Specialist goes down. He's going to take his pick and run with it, not getting greedy for another. As Fakey's going to run right into the open, potentially would have been another free kill.
Great rotation there. Get your kill. You're out in the open. There's only 2 escape lines from there. Go find another line. Pop out. Put some more shots on them. And let's talk about Mason still down in the bottom waiting for them to leave Impact. So when they leave Impact, he's going to come up right up to the 2nd floor. They're going to be pushing through Wing Courtyard and the West Scaffolding Building and have complete overlines for everyone and basically get all of them from the back. So as they leave, as Nicky leaves right here, you're going to see Mason start pushing up, and it's gonna get spicy for Mason if he can just be patient for a little bit longer.
That is correct. We're going to have to watch for that. There is a good chance that Mason's patience, tongue twister, is going to pay off for him as he's going to catch a bunch of defenders in the back. If he decides to push out for it, there is the small chance Mason's going to get Fakey, and there it goes.
He might be dead. Never mind, he's not. He's
Blue taking the shots at the refrag, doesn't catch it. Did Mason just get that pick from behind with no clue from LeftRight?
So Mason got the pick. Nikki's the only one there. He's only called it out and looked back. Deep Blue is continuing to push forward from wing courtyard. Mason is not doing the fast push and trying to like quickly run through. So he's holding Nikki up right now. And I have not heard Nikki call out to Blue or anyone
Mason
else.
takes another, and I can't watch it because Blue just gets naded by Chimichanga. One of those Hail Marys finally reaches its target. Nikki's going to clear out Mason, the thorn in their side this whole round, but Nikki's now the last one up. Mason did his job and then some, taking 2 on the way out. Chimichanga taking the second as well. LeftRight, Nick has a downed player. Chimichanga, I'm not sure if he has called that out, but here he comes. Nick going in for that res, could go down to Chimmy.
He threw that from the corner on the Hesco boxes he's currently on and all over.
Yeah, that is a max distance grenade. That is about the max distance that a grenade can go. Maybe a couple feet more if you're really good with your arm. As Strix is going to take down Nick from hospital. Nick going full exposed, trying to get that res, committing for it. We're trading Volk rounds, boys.
Fantastic plays again. This is good. Onward, good. A little bit on the time management, but you can't move past without having people cleared out everything. So they're starting to move past, then someone gets picked from behind. Well, you can't maintain your time management if you're having to still get people out of your positionings and everything else. So these pushed out players on defense are doing their job. They're holding the teams up. They're getting the picks. Nikki had to sit there and watch for almost a minute just to get Mason. By the time he made that push, he then went down to wing courtyard and then got picked by Strix in wing courtyard. So great positioning and fantastic job by these pushed out defenders.
Absolutely. Getting the value. You said that specifically. That is the magic word. Everybody that's pushed out for the flank has gotten value out of it. Nobody's gotten just a single 1-for-1 trade. Those time wastes, those time sinks, those multi-kills, those are what's really going to make the difference here as we get into the next round.
The spicy objective. This is the Kale gets capped on objective, sadly.
I can't judge. This objective is very, very cap heavy.
Yeah. So this is the East Mall objective, or East Mall Courtyard. Oh, we call it East Mall. And so there's a spicy early line spawn, which that team does not have it. We have the West-Northwest spawn. We have Williams and Specialist make the cross south. Non-contested, be just fine, with a majority of classified making a north push. With that being said, Texas is taking up Burning, and with Shrix now moving into Hospital. Shrix is going to have some line from the... Nope, he's not taking it. Oh, he is. Yep, moving from the dunes. So you're going to have Williams in the dunes here. Strix is going to have to keep an eye on that. He does not check it. Oh,
he just went right up the ramp, and he's going to get picked off by Williams.
Yeah, you gotta take the line where you're not fully exposing yourself before you check that line. So fantastic job by Williams checking for that. Leaving Texas here, making the across the center street here to Deep Blue, who's underground and ready and waiting. I do have that on camera too.
Texas going for the snake route.
We do have an interesting from LeftRight. We have basically very spread across. You have north to south coverage, 2 direct lines basically on top of it, and actually no 3 lines, because from Skeleton you also have the mall push as well. So 3 lines on objective, 1 in the south for adjustment, and Deep Blue in the hole.
For sure. This is coming down to poor luck for Classified on this uplink. Getting the objectively worst spawn, unable to contest the south, means there was no way to stop VR Specialist and Williams from getting into those south dunes, unfortunately. That pre-fire really necessary. Without it, at a disadvantage from the start, loses a body. So now they are 4v5. LeftRight, full advantage of the fact that they've got guys in the south, have taken a very nice straight line across to control pretty much every final cross to uplink. Classified has to get picks in order to make any attempt at uplink. However, those picks are going to be brutal.
Yeah, speaking of the picks, Texas heard Deep Blue moving around in the hole, and now has elected to try and clear him out instead of going past him and just moving down South Street. So we'll see how Texas is for that clearing here. See if he's going to use some utility
Speaking
to
of
try and get him
picks,
out of there.
Specialist has finally decided to peek out of the angle that he has. Gonna catch Texas. That is going to be huge for LeftRight. Texas was watching the angle, playing with, I think that's the Mark 18 or the MCX, Mark 18. So that is going to be a really difficult gun to hit at that range with. Unfortunately, taking it for the underbarrel attachment, unable to pick off that back line from Specialist. Specialist making a huge pick, keeping Blue from needing to do really any work on this push. As Classified starts making their push up Mason, let's take a look over there.
Supporting line there from Specialist, like you commented, it's not a single player game. This is a cooperative team game, and you have those overlapping lines, the supporting lines. That definitely good work there.
For sure, these pros playing textbook on this quarantine. Mason's going to push into VR Specialist's line. He's going to have the angle now. He's going to get his own opportunity to take that attempt. Looks like he is running the HK. No. Boom! Specialist going to take down Mason as well.
I'm done. I have no idea where from.
I don't mean to brag, but every single time Specialist has that line, I've called out that somebody's about to get shot.
And fantastic shots with the TAR, too. I mean, TAR is a very good ranged specialist gun for this recoil pattern, but it's still a specialist gun from a range. So the great shots there. Looks like Chimichanga is going to be coming down to the oil tankers to get the revive on Mason. They do have a smoke on objective, putting lines over there. Let's see if Myth, Mason, and Chimi can come together to make a final push onto objective with a minute and a half left.
For sure, the time is really running short, as is customary on this Q1 so far. Nikki gonna take down Chimichanga with the AK-12. He does not make it past the barricades into the smoke. He had a brief moment. Mason now no longer has that same advantage. However, he's gonna get the refrag on Nick. Nick goes down. 2v4. Blue's gonna flash nobody, doesn't realize it. C4 comes out to stop the cap. Mithril's gonna catch him from way around the backside. Mithril now fully behind apartments. Mason has to cross. He's going to cross in the open. He's going to commit. Mithril takes down Specialist. Williams has taken control of 3-story instead, and he's going to pick off what Specialist was not, as Specialist had rotated for the crash. A smart position to move to. Mithril now outside of apartments. Smokes come out. Apartments knows he's there. Fakey. Is Fakey going to catch him before he ends up in the smoke? Williams still has that back line. He's wondering whether or not he should be crossing or watching the line. 23 seconds on the clock. Mithril, it's now or never. Fakey's going to pick him off in the back here. There it is. Another defense round. We're trading Volks.
Very tight push all the way around. Supporting lines by LeftRight on that defensive push.
Sorry. Continue. I managed to. I hit the old uplink. I'm so used to somebody else setting up uplink for me. Sorry, another peek behind the rag. Curtain. Peek behind the curtain. As we get ready for the next round.
Williams getting the early pick in the hospital. Slowed down. They did not have the pressure from the south. If they had a little bit of pressure from the south, that could have shifted the north push away. But maybe forced LeftRight to condense and kind of separate all their lines there at the end for the last, 2 minutes. You pretty much had basically 3 lasers, actually 4 lasers at one point, all facing towards objective and not really watching toward anywhere else. So you didn't really have, basically you had tunnel vision from the defenders, but you couldn't take advantage of it from the way the lines had been taken. So good defensive holds again by our defense LeftRight, and the push just didn't come to fruition from the classified team.
For sure. I'm gonna point out some really good gameplay coming from LeftRight. Let's see if this still works properly. Note that they had bodies direct on the uplink with these such wide crosses coming from either angle. That's that counter push with the flash out here into the C4 that managed to clear out the common cap spot for the push would have been extremely valuable. Unfortunately, the timing just coming off just ever so slightly.
It's spicy spawn.
It is the spicy spawn.
Here. This is the spicy spawn. So we have the north spawn. Let's see if anybody checks, goes up on the stairwell to check, and let's see if anyone's watching from the other side.
Mithril doesn't check. Chimmy doesn't check.
Watching.
Lines are. They actually pushed the line too. They pushed the early line. They're checking towards scaffolding, expecting somebody to watch for it. They don't. Mithril's rushing straight into Nick. Nick gonna get there first. Mithril needs to hug the wall. Mithril gets into position by the skin of his teeth.
Oh, that's
as Mason's gonna take down Fakey. There goes the line. Fakey gets the res. Mithril, he's committing. Here he comes. What is that timing? Specialist and Fakey make it past in through the smoke. They are all exposed and Myth has no way of knowing it. Oh, that's too juicy. There are shots going on in the long wrinkles, but I don't want to miss this potential cleanup. We'll come back to this.
Is he on roof?
I got 2 on Myth. I'm gonna go over.
I appreciate you.
Holding the early line on that.
There might be. Honestly, I'm gonna start.
Defenders are. We have defenders in the hole and 1 moving into burning right now.
Oh, you can hear the footsteps. That's going to be a pick on Williams. He gets one. Nicky tries to refrag, but he's too late. He had about a quarter of a second of a window to try and get that refrag. It wasn't happening. Myth goes back to his old position. Now he's waiting for them to push him, but he's pushed back so far that Util might not catch him. That is a good reposition coming from Mithril Marauder, trying to get the max value out of that north side. I'm glad we didn't miss it. Oh, and I need to make sure that we are on the correct full screen. Thank you. Mason's going to down Chimichanga. Apologizes. Chimichanga said something about Mason's mother. I'm kidding, by the way. Just in case anybody's watching and they go full, he said... I'm just kidding.
Got Strix and Burning Blue has made the rotation back into hospital. You know, he's really kind of watching this AC push that Specialist is making, and he has not committed to it. I keep watching it, seeing it, you know, basically calling it out of camera too, but he is not doing it. So let's see what Strix and Specialist are going to be our next encounter, most likely, with the current configuration of defenders.
I think you're right. Let's take a look over to Strix. Strix in this backside. On Burning. Specialist. He's pushing hard. Full commit.
He's going to hear the audio cues. Will he transition to push out?
Specialist committed now. He's gone fully into the backside of Burning. Does not know that Strix is there, I don't believe. Fakey's going to down Texas, so we lose another classified. Specialist. Quick peeks in front of Strix. Strix doesn't catch it, and he's just going to leave.
I think he just fell. I don't think he actually made it upstairs. I think that was just a fall.
I thought for sure that was a quick peek in the doorway.
Oh, it might have. The way Strix was on
Mithril's going to take Fakey on that north side. Finally, Nick is going to take down Mithril Marauder. Mithril goes down in the north. Not before getting 2. That is what we call a valuable flank. As he's burned 3 minutes of the clock and taken down 2. No heavy free push in the north. Strix in position to take out Blue. Blue takes out Mason first, though. Strix needs that refrag, otherwise it'll have all been for nothing. There goes Blue. That's going to be the knock. Specialist now knows he has somebody behind him at Burning. He's going to watch the line. Strix goes down to the second floor. Strix needs to watch for this push. Specialist goes back. He decides he can't make a push as long as somebody's behind him. He's now committed to the swing. They're fully committed to this fight as Nick is pushed all the way back behind apartments and is getting ready to cross into the back line. I want to take a look at that as Nick is in that far side. He's going to take down Texas on Link.
-1.
2 left on Link. We come back to Burning. Strix and VR Specialist. Shrix has fully given up and rotated away. Specialist still watching as though he's there. Objective is turned down to a 1v1, and Nick is going to go down to Chimichanga. 1v1 overall. Had Nick taken out Chimichanga there, that would have been the freest of caps. Classified. Now has one left on uplink. On defense, that's not a position you want to be on this uplink, as it is very easily captured. That being said, Chimichanga has to contend with two of LeftRight's players, as Specialist is going to get Blue back up. They're going to be able to push this south side of objective, and they're going to be able to push it hard. They don't have much of a choice, 55 seconds. This does mean they're going to have to be very sloppy on these pushes in order to get there in time. That could give Chimichanga the advantage if he peeks the stairwell, as Blue's going to come into that line. Here we go. Chimmy has to watch too many lines, if I'm being honest. He's going to hear the audio from Specialist. 30 seconds on the clock. 30-second warning just went off on all the players' watches. Chimmy needs to watch it. Blue pushing up for free. Chimmy no longer watching the line. He's going to peek out. He's going to get Blue. Specialist last up. 17 seconds on the clock. That's the util. Flash. Specialist is now blind. He's going to swing it blind, hoping Chimichanga pushes, but there's 9 seconds on the clock. He doesn't have to. He's going to swing around the back, and Chimichanga's going to take down Specialist and clutch up the round.
Fantastic hold by Chimichanga. It was not a lot of time left for LeftRight for Blue and Specialist, but they basically ended up getting back to objective with about 30 seconds left. Both had made their push. A whole different way, just from the way the transition, people crashing back and everything else. Everyone was super spread out that round, and it could have been anybody's map, anybody's round that round. Anybody's round that round? I'm committed to it.
Oh, yep, for sure. You just never apologize for anything, for any reason. Speaking of never apologize for any reason, I'm not apologizing, but I cut you off in the middle of that as we found out the replay cuts you off specifically.
Oh, there's no reason. It's just me. That's fine.
It's just you were talking perfectly fine, and then suddenly you weren't, and then suddenly you were again. So my apologies, dear viewer. I don't know what is going on with the cast today, but it's something else.
We're doing things. At least we're chit-chatting now.
Yeah, at least we've got you here. I appreciate you coming in, Kale, and putting up with this. All right, we've got you fixed in the replay, so that'll be good. And we have... Whoa, that was no transition. Sorry, everybody watching. As we're going to get into the next round. There we go.
West objective, classified north spawn, keep it alive, to go to a map 3... see what happens. This
is what you want to see. This is nice, close, epic games coming down to 1v1s as we see the defenders getting into position. Offense really pushing early and pushing hard into that north, as one should. We're going to see some early engagements. Contesting Crash Site is going to be huge for the Marsoc. Classified needs to win Crash Site. Blue takes down Mason. Not a good sign. Myth needs to be careful. LeftRight, famously on this match so far, has had serious control of Crash Site. So Classified, uphill struggle.
Yeah, unfortunately, Texas had a brief moment of a line through the stairwell and just missed Blue there to get him basically out of there, because this whole north push of Shrix, Myth, and Texas is gonna be basically on hold while they try to root Blue out. Like I touched on earlier, time management is such a huge part of this game, and whenever you have someone tucked into a spot that's really, you need to get them out of there before you can move past and move forward. And you end up losing a lot of time, especially with people that just aren't running around like crazy. And Blue is being methodical on his approach and his line. Blue and Myth right now on 2 if you're not there.
Here we go, as Blue is slowly peeking out, trying to clear out that backside. Hasn't made a footstep, however. He hears the footsteps of Shrix, so he is on edge, playing this cautiously in a very exposed section of Crash Site. A lot of angles that could see him. Myth holding this line.
Myth made an audio cue. Blue now knows he's there.
Yep, there goes Blue peeking out slow. He needs to commit to the swing. He throws the C4. The C4 takes down Mithril.
Like 1 more on me. No, 2 more on me.
Blue going the way
there,
of Specialist.
never exposing himself. Shrix is now back on edge, thinking that Blue might have rotated out, leaving Impact and kind of giving it up. But now that his teammate is down, he now has to find and do something else.
There seems to be a pattern on these close, quiet engagements of stress, de-stress, stress, de-stress. You notice that Blue getting stressed up, waiting for that pick, and then de-stressing the moment that Mithril made himself known, getting that C4 kill. Now Shrix's turn to play stressed, as he knows there's somebody in here killing people. Chimichanga is going to take down Specialist. That's big for Classified. First pick of the round. Last round on Quarantine. Nikki in position on that back line. Shots come out from Shrix. Fakey on that far side. Let's take a look over there. Fakey watching that angle from gas station.
Blue is making his approach. Shrix is watching the door. On 2 right now. Oh,
that's going to be the shot on Shrix.
There's 1 tank 4 yard.
That is Blue's 3rd in Impact. Again, holding Impact. You never root him out. Trying to hold back your lines. Blue's being quiet, playing stealthy. You know, Texas is trying to be like, I can't expose myself to Impact, but I still need to continue pushing forward here. Which really, with 2 minutes left, is not a lot of time for what they need to cover and what they need to do.
It really isn't.
Knowing that they only have 1 pick.
For sure. You have to watch out for Crash Site. Because Crash Site was never rooted out, Texas is now constantly under threat of dying instantly, and he cannot be under that kind of threat if he's going to clear out the rest of the defenders on uplink. LeftRight still has 4 players up, all 3 of which have lines to the uplink on Texas. As Williams is going to take down Chimichanga, but not before Chimmy takes down Blue. Blue going down is huge for Texas. It does provide Texas the opportunity to smoke exactly that, the red scaffolding. If he can get past Fakey and flash Nick on objective, he has a shot. 1 minute 35 on the clock, but he's not far from uplink. It's enough time to be able to make 1 or 2 plays, but those plays need to be decided soon. Texas has no idea that Crash Site is down, though. Classified, uphill struggle. If they lose this, they are out of the semifinals. Texas just committing too much watch on Crash Site. He knows that's his biggest threat. If he knew this threat was gone, he'd be making a much more aggressive push to Link. Now his smoke completely wasted out, and he's been called out by Williams on the backside. Texas. Another smoke. His position's known, but he has made it past Fakey. 46 seconds on the clock. It's not enough time. Kale, do you think he can do it?
Fakey's got a back line, Williams got the front line, Nicky's got the over line. There have been crazier plays that have happened, but Texas has it's a Texas-sized problem he has here to get through.
30-second mark. All the players receive a notification on their watch telling them when 30 seconds is left in the game clock. That warning has gone off. He knows he's out of time. He's going to push towards Fakey. Fakey's just going to pick him off. And that's going to be the cleanup. Classified goes down. LeftRight wins Quarantine. And that is your match, ladies and gentlemen. LeftRight moves on in the semifinals, our first of our semifinal matches. Holy cow, we got there.
Congratulations to LeftRight. This was of the 2 semifinal rounds, like you said. We have the next one coming up. Was it Thursday? Thursday, I believe. And so that'll be Mayhem and
Oh, that's
somebody.
Interesting.
I don't remember quite who it is.
I assume the teams have decided to go to a friendly cargo match.
Oh, let's see.
LeftRight has one, right? We do finish there, right?
Correct. Yes, LeftRight did take Snow Peak 4-2, and then has just taken Quarantine 4-3. So yes, they do have ownership. They have won the map. The match. Looks like pounds dropped. I'm not quite sure.
I'm going to assume this is a friendly cargo and call it here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun cargo. I think that's all this is right here. So yeah, congratulations. Defensive rounds almost across the board there. It's back and forth. Those pushed out players in the end ended up being the biggest. I'd probably say won the rounds for the defensive teams on each of almost every round. Those push out defenders holding up the other team, getting multiple picks most of the time, and really doing a fantastic job. So great job by those defenders that were pushed out doing the heavy lifting there. Firesoul, what did you feel about that game?
All right, we're gonna leave whatever's going on in cargo in the background just to be sure everything's functioning properly for once. Honestly, a fantastic match. You saw a lot of defensive traded rounds. Both teams really favoring their defense, not so much their Marsoc rounds, as each team really accentuating their focus on the flanks. We saw a lot of value from every flanker. Nearly every chance they got, they committed to as much value as humanly possible. And that ended up being huge.
And that's one of the things about those Marsoc pushes. Those flankers almost went uncontested for almost their entire flank until they got that pick. Didn't really have spread pushes. There's a couple times there's like 2-3s or something to that degree, but those flankers just would always choose a advantageous line to where it wasn't until they were in a position to already capitalize on it that the Marsoc team wasn't able to counter it. So yeah.
All right. My apologies for anybody watching. There was a bit of a funkiness behind the scenes. So thank you guys so much for your patience. You're all the way through it. Kale, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for your patience with all the weirdness in the background. I'm glad we finally got to have at least one full map on Quarantine where we got some good back and forth. Not sure what was going on that end, but we've managed to get it together. And speaking of get it together, LeftRight picking up both map picks. Congratulations, moving on to the semifinals. We hope to see everybody here again as we move forward, and thank you guys so much. Any last things to say to the viewers at home?
Thanks for playing Onward. Thanks for hanging out with us while we watched great Onward play. And let's continue to support the playoffs and the teams that are pushing through the rest of the playoffs.
Whoa, you're not allowed to say that. Okay, have a good night, everyone.